Today, we are going to be ranking every single Disney animated movie. Not Pixar. There's two different studios, by the way. There's Pixar, which makes their own things, and I know Disney owns Pixar, so it might be a little bit confusing, but these are specifically the movies that were made by Disney Animated Studios, which are the 2D animated stuff, and then after, like, I think Tangled, it became 3D animated from that point onward. So there's a lot of stuff here. I think I've seen the majority of these movies. Please forgive me if I don't remember them perfectly. I'll be doing it based off of my small memory as a child. Let's just go into this, okay? So if you guys don't know, I have a new channel called Movies with Macro, and on this channel, I review movies. And in the future, when I have more of an idea of what I want to do with this channel, I'll introduce other type of videos like video essays. So if you like this tier list and want more movie and TV content, go subscribe to my movie channel. Now, back to the video. Right off the bat, we got Snow White, The Seven Dwarfs, the original animated classic, literally the first ever animated movie that Walt himself made. I think he was even there in the animation room doing it by hand, drawing and everything. It's a cool one. I think like this is like the one where she gets like poisoned by like the apple. The entire motivation of the villain in Snow White to me is like so funny. She's just a queen that is mad that Snow White's hotter than her. That's the entire motivation. And to me, that pettiness elevates the queen to like the next level. I think that's funny as hell. Has it held up? I don't know. I don't feel like kids these days are caring about Snow White that much. The dwarves are all great. Shout out my boy Dopey. I think like top of C is fair for Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, you know? Okay, then we got Pinocchio. As a child, this movie traumatized me. There's like that scene with like the donkeys. The kids are like drinking alcohol and stuff. By the way, they drink alcohol. Like this was a PG movie. The kids are like drinking alcohol and become donkeys and get sent to like a donkey prison camp. I forget exactly what the details were about it. That part was traumatizing as hell. There's a lot of like wonky stuff that goes on in this movie. I feel like it's a little all over the place when it comes to its actual main plot. But in the end of the day, Jiminy Cricket's great. Geppetto exists. Pinocchio's a goofball. We all love him. Getting sucked up by a whale is everyone's dream. It's just a fever dream. I think below Snow White. I think like C is still fair. Fantasia, the original Fantasia is wild, bro. Like it's such a weird excuse of a movie. Like I wouldn't even consider it a movie. It's more of like a trip. We're watching a bunch of really crazy music videos. That's essentially what it is. I also remember this being a bit traumatizing as well in a cool way. This is where Mickey Mouse gets his little hat and his like magician outfit and stuff. It's pretty iconic look. Musically, bangers. I would probably still play this for like my children if I could, because I just think it's a really interesting and out there thing. Like you got to give them mad props. They didn't have to go so hard in the paint with Fantasia. Fantasia is very strange. I have very fond memories of Fantasia, even if it is just like a trip on drugs. I think B tier. I think that's fair. I hate Dumbo. I always thought Dumbo sucked. Dumbo is boring, even as a child. If me as a child was bored out of my mind, you're failing as an animated movie, okay? Dumbo sucks. Dumbo is dumb. The only redeeming part is that part where like the elephants, they're both drunk. I think there's a part where Dumbo gets drunk. By the way, I don't know why they're obsessed with kids getting like drunk in these movies, but you know, it be like that sometimes. The only redeeming quality is when they get drunk and they're seeing like these pink elephants do these crazy dance. But otherwise, movie is so boring and forgettable. D tier for Dumbo. Bambi is it started the trend of Disney moms not existing and or dying. It's definitely a weird one. I watched it a lot. I definitely think it's more enjoyable than Pinocchio and Snow White for sure. It's a lot sadder, a little more corazon. You know what I mean? I like Bambi. I don't love Bambi, but I like Bambi. B tier for Bambi. A little bit above Fantasia. Saludos amigos. I think I've seen like snippets of these, and if I have seen them, they just completely like fell out of my memory. So I guess I have to make another tier. This row is gonna be called Never Saw. Okay, cool. I never really saw Saludos Amigos and The Three Caballeros. It's like Donald Duck, right? It's Donald Duck and like his homies doing like vaguely Latino things. If I did watch it, I don't remember it. I'm gonna put never saw / don't remember. My mom's gonna watch this and she'll be like, we showed you this all the time. And I'll be like, no, I don't remember, mom. So yeah, never saw / don't remember. Walt Disney makes my music. I just feel like a lot of these are just so old that I just don't know what the hell any of them are. Fun and Fancy Free, and then Melody Time. Yeah, I don't remember any of these. These ones, I mean, you could just tell they all kind of just like blend together. There's something that like Walt Disney, when he was still alive, was like, yo, check this out, bangers. And we're like, nah, we don't got the VHS money. But I did watch this one like crazy, the Ichabod and Mr. Toad. So this is like a double feature. It's the story of Ichabod Crane, where like the Headless Horseman story, which this thing traumatized the absolute out of me. You feel me? And then there's the Mr. Toad part, which I like feel like is super forgettable. Yeah, the Headless Horseman part went hard in the paint, but I do think the Mr. Toad aspect, because I forgot about it completely, that part, I just feel like that holds it back a bit. I'd probably put it like right between Snow White and Pinocchio in C tier. Cinderella, dude, one of the OGs, dude. Oh my lord, Cinderella, dressed in yellow, clever fella. Dude, Cinderella is so strange. She is such a nice person. I love that in this movie, the rats are like her homies, but like instead of them just being regular ass rats, they straight up have like drip and outfits and stuff. So the rats are like super funny. It's a pretty basic movie, but you have to remember at the time, it was like the original quintessential Cinderella story. This is also one of the times where like, I feel like the prince is super like irrelevant, kind of like in Snow White. It takes a while for them to realize that they got to make Prince Charming like actually useful and actually like have like a personality. He barely has one in this. The fairy godmothers is great. The stepsisters, I always felt like they weren't as mean as they should be. The stepmother was so mean. The stepmother was an absolute jerk. But yeah, it's a basic plot. There's nothing like too crazy about it. I think it's like above Fantasia in B tier. Below Bambi though. Alice in Wonderland, I don't understand its appeal. I hated it as a kid. I remember as a kid, I would be confused. It's less of a fever dream and more of a nightmare, dude. Alice in Wonderland straight up gave me nightmares for days. I absolutely don't understand who it was made for. There's not really a plot, but there's banger characters like the Mad Hatter gets introduced. Like, I'm not saying that it's not iconic for what it was, but like, I just don't want to watch it. Please don't make me watch it. Please, I'm begging you. I'm scared. Top of C tier for Alice in Wonderland. Okay, we're getting to some bangers here. The original Peter Pan. Peter Pan is tight. Tinkerbell is tight. Captain Hook is one of my favorite villains. He's so goofy. Him and Shmee. The crocodile with the freaking clock in its belly so you can hear the little tick, 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 and he's like afraid of it. Peter Pan is a fun time, dude. Okay, look, there's a little bit of racism. We don't talk about the racist parts. Beyond that, the movie in general is quite a good one. Is it like S tier level? I don't think so. I think it's still a little slow. It suffers from like this like old school style that like holds it back a little bit, so it's not as timeless. But it's definitely in the A tier. It's probably our first A tier one. Then we got Lady and the Tramp. I'm gonna be real with you guys. This one is so boring. I don't understand why people enjoy this movie. Like, there's that one iconic scene where they eat the spaghetti and they kiss. Like, oh wow, it's so cool, so cute. Let's do a little Lady and the Tramp moment, you know? Like, for sure, but like, name another scene. Give me any other scene, bro. That's what I thought. Below Dumbo, D tier. Then we got Sleeping Beauty. This one, I feel like the prince is pretty cool. Besides the fact that he has to kiss her while she's asleep. You know, non-consensual. Come on, what's that about? Beyond that, this introduces one of the most iconic villains in the Disney repertoire, Maleficent. The funniest thing for me is my fondest memories of all these Disney villains is not even from their movies. It's from Kingdom Hearts. But Maleficent plays a huge part in Kingdom Hearts. Even in this movie, she's just super mean. Like, and I love it. She's just evil for evil's sake. I don't know. I think Sleeping Beauty kind of goes hard. I just remember it being like a fun time. And like, for once, the prince isn't like a loser. So, you know, that's a W. Top of B tier. 101 Dalmatians introduces us to Cruella de Vil. That's such a badass name. Like, it literally means cruel devil. Like, come on. Come on. Cruella de Vil is so freaking sick. The Dalmatians, on the other hand, I kind of wish they got killed by her. Is it weird? I'm just like, you know, these Dalmatians suck. Kill them. I'm messing. The Dalmatians are really cute. They're really, really cute. But yeah, in general, I do think the movie was kind of like, okay. Very much a middle of the road movie. Honestly, it probably would have been like low C tier if it wasn't for Cruella de Vil. Top of C tier. Cruella de Vil is just carrying the movie on her back and she knows it. Her and her bumbling idiot henchman. The Sword in the Stone is so forgettable. I remember it, but it's like so forgettable. I don't even want to talk about it, dude. D tier. Like bottom D tier. So boring. I remember falling asleep as a child. My parents would put this movie on, so I'd fall asleep. Sword in the Stone, bro. No. The Jungle Book is like the first time we got like music, right? I feel like we hadn't really got music. Like we had Bibbidi Bobbidi Boop and that was like about it. And a couple of Alice in Wonderland bangers here and there. Like there would be some music, but I feel like Jungle Book is where we finally got like the musical element. Like it was multiple songs, multiple bangers. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. And then also they had that one like, I want to be like you. I want to walk like you. Like this movie had banger songs, but the plot, there is like literally no plot, but the music is carrying. So I'm putting it in B tier. Top of B tier for me. Plot is mid, but the music carries. Aristocats. Oh my God. Everybody wants to be a cat. I have like strange memories with it. I don't feel like I was ever fully awake for it. If you're a cat fan, you'd probably like this, but this is definitely the definition of mid. Probably top of D tier. D for dang, I wish it answer was dogs instead. Then we got Robin Hood, dude. Robin Hood is actually really funny, man. I remember this movie just being like a hoot and a half. A hoot and a half, you feel me? It's a Robin Hood, but everybody is animals. It's got everything you want about it. I'd probably put it like below Snow White, right there in C tier. Then we got Winnie the Pooh. Oh man, I mean, Winnie the Pooh's always a good time. I'm trying to remember what this one's about. This one, I don't know if I remember this old one. I genuinely don't remember if I watched this old one. And to be respectful to my audience, I don't know if I saw this one. Sorry, everybody. Please forgive me. The Rescuers! The Rescuers, man, they were a big part of my childhood, dude. But tell me, what were they rescuing, you know? It's cool that they rode a bird. Remember that? They're like, yo, we're riding a bird. Okay, Fox and the Hound, man, I love this movie. It's so sad. It's like, you know, you have two friends that were kids and they grew up together. They were like besties. And then, you know, different lives. You know, one was a fox, one was a hound. The hound's job was to kill foxes. And I think it's a tragedy. I think it's one of those movies that I remember crying like a little baby, you know? I get really sad, bro, thinking about like the fact that like, it's like a tragic ending, okay? Like, they have to like fight each other at the end, bro. It's sad, okay? But beyond that, it's pretty boring. So, damn, above Ichabod, right there. Yeah, that's fair. I've never seen Black Cauldron, and I don't know a human being that has. Dude, The Great Mouse Detective goes so hard. The Great Mouse Detective? Okay, The Great Mouse Detective. I remember growing up with this, and I didn't know it was Disney. I thought it was like a separate thing because it felt so mature and so like different. I always thought it was such a banger, and my parents had it on VHS, and I swear I watched it like 20 times. It is so good. It is literally Sherlock Holmes, but it's a mouse. The cool part about this movie on a world building aspect is that it still takes place in like the human world, and there just happen to be mice. So it's like everything is just like scaled down and it's just awesome. The villain is super over the top. He's super crazy, dude. The Great Mouse Detective is great. S tier. Our first S tier, baby. Oliver and Company. We watched this as kids as well. It's also another like adaptation of a, you know, Oliver and Company. Let's be honest here. You don't remember this movie. It's just about this like cat who becomes friends with dogs. And then the dogs are like, we're having a wild time in the city and the music's okay. I never really liked the story of Oliver, to be completely frank with you. And this adaptation does not make me care more. But it's better than Aristocats because dogs are better than cats. Just a fact. D tier. Moving on. The Little Mermaid. I just saw the live action remake of The Little Mermaid and it's pretty good. The Little Mermaid movie is iconic, bro. The original Little Mermaid movie is full of color. It's full of life. It has some of the most incredible music ever made for a Disney film, and it single-handedly started the Disney Renaissance and saved Disney Animation Studios from going completely under. So, The Little Mermaid has Under the Sea. Under the Sea! And then there's Part of Your World. There's like one more. Oh, Poor Unfortunate Souls. It's such a freaking banger of a movie. But I really don't like Prince Eric in this one. I don't know. Top of A tier, above Peter Pan. It's not S tier for me. I'm sorry. Get over it. Never seen Down Under. Neither of you should shut up. Beauty and the freaking Beast, dude. I mean, it was the first Disney animated movie to ever be nominated for Best Picture. Not for Best Animated Feature, for Best Picture. And rightfully so. The music is beautiful. The characters are all great, including the villain and the main characters. We love Beast. We love Belle and her Stockholm Syndrome. We love Gaston, because no one fights like Gaston, no one block. And then there's like all the great music. God, literally, dude, it just slaps. It's such a great story. I mean, who doesn't love all the different characters that are in the castle, like Lumiere and all the he's French, and they're all trying their best to just make sure that the stupid freaking beast, Stockholm Syndrome's Belle, he successfully does it. He does a great job. S tier. Bottom of S tier, though. I want to make it clear that Mouse Detective is better, okay? Aladdin holds an extremely special place in my heart, simply put. I love Robin Williams. When Robin Williams passed away, it really did break me, and I would watch a lot of Aladdin clips and stuff. This is my hot take. Aladdin is a mid-movie saved by the genie, which makes it the best movie ever. Like literally, just watch the movie again. Watch it, and you're like, okay, it's a good movie. You're not like mad about it. And then the genie shows up, and you're like, whoa, this movie's different. This movie's crazy. So Aladdin is phenomenal. The music is, in my humble opinion, for the Disney Renaissance era, it is the best music. Better than Lion King, better than Little Mermaid, better than Beauty and the Beast, better than Hercules, better than Mulan. I think this has the best music. Okay, you have a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. Na, 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 And then on top of that, you got like Street Rat. And then Prince Ali Glorious. He Ali Abba. You know, like all those bangers, right? But then on top of that, you got Robin Williams in the booth. Never had a friend, never had a you ain't. Never had a friend, never had a friend, you ain't. Never had a friend like me. Like that shit goes so hard. It goes so hard. S tier, baby. Oh my God. Damn, son. We got Lion King. Lion King is so good. Lion King is one of the few movies where like plot-wise phenomenal. Like the music is just elevating it, but the plot is so good. Damn, we really are in the Renaissance here, man. Lion King is so great, dude. And it's got one of the best villains. We got Scar. This has the second best music by far. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. And then there's oh, I just can't wait to be king. Like that. Oh my God. So good. God. I'm gonna calm down. I'm calming down. I'm calming down, bro. I'm calming down. Okay. S tier. It's gonna be an S tier. Easy S tier. Pocahontas is so bad. It's funny because like the Disney Renaissance era happened right now, and then Pocahontas comes out of nowhere. And besides Colors of the Wind, which is a phenomenal song, besides that, the movie is so okay. Like you watch it and you're like, oh, so we had Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, 4 absolute bangers right after each other, and then this is what you pump out, huh? Pocahontas is quite literally the definition of mid. Pocahontas, you are now the gatekeeper of C tier. You are bottom C tier, C minus. Hunchback of Notre Dame is way too mature for these kids these days, bro. Like the villain literally wants to like, you know, do some stuff to like our main characters. Like, and the craziest part is like they don't want to like explicitly say it, but like the church is like the villain. You know what I mean? Like the actual like structure around it. Like he's like the leader of like, you know. I don't want to say nothing, but like, you know, probably arguably one of the best villains in a Disney animated movie. Yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame is pretty good. Solid 8-tier movie. Okay, guys, I have a spicy take here. A lot of people don't think Hercules is one of the best Disney movies. I hard disagree. It's the funniest of the 2D animated. Sorry. Oh, I lied. I think Hercules is the second funniest of the 2D animated movies. The funniest one's coming up. I love the music. I love the idea that they decided to use Greek mythology and they did not take it seriously one bit. And I think that's funny because Greek mythology is so silly. Greek mythology is objectively humorous. There's a guy that has to push a boulder up for eternity because he pissed off Zeus. And then the boulder gets too heavy so it rolls back down. So he has to do it again. Like everything in Greek mythology is funny. And Hercules just goes off and making fun of it all the time. Danny DeVito comes in as Phil. You got the freaking boy Hercules singing, I will find my way. I can go the distance. I'll be there someday. Oh my God. Dude, the music is so good. No chance. No way, I won't say it, no. I think that song, like, as a core memory as a child, I was like, I want that song to be on, like, my iPod shuffle. I love that. I love her voice so much. I mean, she also, like, there are some Disney animated women, like, Meg affected me as a child and changed me. There's just some women that change the way you're built, you know? Look, man, I'm just saying, there's just things that affect the way you grew up. Meg was the start. But we're not gonna talk about Hercules without talking about mother Hades, baby. Played by now disgraced actor James Wood. He's kind of a piece of crap now, like asshole. Before, when he was like kind of chill, he decided to go all in and play Hades, and he played the ever-living crap out of Hades, bro. Made Hades so funny and so mischievous to the point where you're like, you almost like kind of root for Hades because he's like, he's a goofball, man. He's awesome. Such a top-tier villain. Hercules in S tier, right above The Great Mouse Detective. Boom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now we got Mulan. Let's get down to business. Mulan is so good. Absolutely phenomenal movie. One of the funniest plot elements about Mulan for me is that Shang is like the leader of the army. I think he was already falling in love with Mulan's character. He was in love with Mulan before she was a woman. That's all I'm gonna say. We need to respect and love Shang, our bisexual king, okay? Mulan is freaking sick, man. Bottom vest here. A lot of S tier movies today, guys. I'm really happy about this. We're on Tarzan. And look, we can talk about the plot. It's Tarzan, you know, he was raised by gorillas and he has his elephant friend and he has a bunch of gorilla friends and then he falls in love with Jane and Clayton's like, I want to see the gorillas, and then he captures all the gorillas, and then Clayton actually gets like freaking hung by a vine. Like it's like in the shadow, you see that he literally like, he's like trying to get out of the vines. He's like, Clayton, no. And he gets like hung and he's just there like dangling. Dude, that's a lot to put on a kid. You know, the story though is okay. Like the story's like a solid like B tier story. But Phil Collins comes in. He didn't have to go so hard in the paint, but Phil Collins decides, I'm gonna play some songs for this movie. And he goes like, dum dum. Dum, 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 dum. Don't stop your crying, it'll be alright. Just take my hand, hold it tight. I will protect you from all around, and I will be here, don't you cry. Dude, literally, like, 'cause you'll be in my heart. Like, oh my God, how do you not cry? Will you be in my heart? Dude, he crushed it. These songs go hard in the paint. Bottom A tier, below Peter Pan. Easy peasy. Fantasia 2000, is that the one that has the devil? There's like a part when you're like in hell. It's worse than the original Fantasia, but it's like different. Probably like top of C tier. It's like a little bit worse than the original Fantasia, but like they're right next to each other. Dinosaur, oh my God. I remember as a kid, fun fact about Dinosaur for me, I got this really cool toy, a hand puppet thing with the little dinosaur thing, and I would play with it all the time. And then I was like so excited. I was like, yay mom, like I got this McDonald's toy. So excited to use this thing. And then I saw Dinosaur and I swear I was a kid and I looked at my father and went, that was bad. And I think that was like the first time like ever as a human being that we saw a movie in theaters and I walked out disappointed. F tier. Okay, so this next one, I'm a little bit biased because I'm Latino, but Emperor's New Groove is so fun, man. It's just by far the funniest Disney animated movie. No question asked. It's an absolute hilarity, dude. We would not be remiss to call this the funniest movie without talking about the funniest character in probably all of Disney animation, period. This character is single-handedly the reason why Patrick Warburton has a career. And we're talking none other than the boy, Kronk. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Kronk is absolutely so funny, man. Emperor's New Groove, it's extremely funny. S tier for me, I don't care. Atlantis, the main girl from Atlantis, like, you know, the Atlantean. Change things about my life for life. But in general, the big plot twist about the movie being the fact that like everyone is basically like low-key been a mercenary the whole time. They're not there for the research. They just tricked Milo the whole time. I genuinely think it's an underrated gem, and I think that people need to give it another chance. If they're ever gonna make a live action movie, because like I swear they're making live action movies of everything, but they're not making live action movies of movies that make sense to make live action. And the one movie that they should make live action is Atlantis, okay? I think it would look amazing in live action. A tier, above Tarzan. Boom. Lilo and Stitch is genuinely one of the most phenomenal movies ever animated. There is so much heart. There's so much love between sisters. There's a lot of sad realities. The social service worker, you know, because Lilo's a bit of a problem child and losing custody. It's just so sad and so heartwarming. And then there's also aliens. And it works. Like, it kind of works. In the end of the day, I always loved Lilo and Stitch. I even loved the show that came after it. I watched all of it. S because Ohana means family. Honestly, I agree with that sentiment. S tier. I love Lilo and Stitch. It is so good. If you say otherwise, you're dead to me. Treasure Planet is such a mixed bag for me. I think the animation was cool and bold, and the idea was super over the top. I understand why it flopped. It was just like, it was a bit much, but it's cool. They took Treasure Island, turned it into a treasure planet, like a space opera thing. I remember really enjoying this movie. It's a pretty okay film. Not C tier, but like B tier. Top of B tier, Treasure Planet. That's where it goes for me. Brother Bear, dude. Tell everybody I'm on my way. Okay, so Brother Bear is a film that exists. It has that really annoying trope that I don't like, the lie reveal trope, where he has to like reveal, like, it's like, oh, you're the one that killed my mother. It's like, oh, get over it, kid. You're gonna be best friends still. And then he chooses to be a bear still. A lot of weird things going on for sure. B tier for Brother Bear. Okay, Chicken Little, guys. We need to talk about this. I'm putting it in F tier and we're gonna talk. Chicken Little may go down in history as having one of the worst father figures in all media. Chicken Little is animated terribly. I always hated the animation style. I remember as a kid, I really didn't enjoy it. It's just full of just references. Like their entire humor is built on references. Chicken Little, to me, this is my hot take. You can agree to disagree. Chicken Little is the Minions movie of the Disney animation studios. It is so surface level funny. It's awful. I hated it. We're done talking about it. Meet the Robinsons is a movie with a very funny villain. Our main character I didn't really enjoy as much as I thought I would. It has a lot of heart though. It's also about the importance of family and stuff, and like it's a little bit of a time paradox though, let's be honest here. Like he goes in the future and meets his future stuff. I don't think you're allowed to do that, let's be honest. It has a good amount of corazon, good amount of heart, but it's above Brother Bear and B tier. I think that's fair. We got Princess and the Frog. Man, I wish they didn't turn into frogs for most of the movie, because beyond that, the villain's really cool, the music is fun, but why are they frogs like for most of the movie, man? I get it it's the Princess and the Frog, but like, okay guys, there's a trend in Disney movies, including Pixar movies, where anytime there's a POC character, you got Emperor's New Groove, okay, it's a Latino character, gets turned to a llama. You got Princess of the Frog, you got a black person, turns into a frog. Soul, turned to a cat. They won't let us brown and black folk just be brown and black folk. They won't do it. It's a conspiracy, but it's consistent. That's all I'm gonna say. In the top of C tier, you know? Tangled. We're on to Tangled. I feel like Tangled is very underrated. I feel like people give Frozen such a big like love, and we'll talk about Frozen. We'll get there. I think Tangled is really good. It's one of the few times like the dude that's in love with the princess is like really charming and really fun. And they actually have chemistry. Like it's a rare moment of chemistry between our love interests. Rapunzel is a ton of fun. The horse has a bunch of like energy. The villain, aka her mother, is great. Her motivation makes sense. Her character makes sense. I mean, her motivation is still like inherently evil, but you know what I mean? Like she's like gaslighting the crap out of Rapunzel the whole time. I like Tangled a lot. I'll put it below Peter Pan though. Right there, A tier. Winnie the freaking Pooh. I saw this the other day with my cousin's kid. It is so cute. It is so wholesome. You're just seeing the gang having a good time together, dude. It was a good time. Probably like in like B tier. We got Wreck-It Ralph. Call me a softie. Call me whatever you want to call me. I cried at the end of Wreck-It Ralph when I think he's gonna sacrifice himself, and he's like reciting the bad guy speech. He's like, "You're not a bad guy, but we're bad guys." Blah blah. Dude, I cried. This has the best twist villain in Turbo, aka the King Candy. The video game references are super fun. Wreck-It Ralph is a banger of a movie. What an absolute gem, and I think a classic already. Bottom of S tier. Love it. Then we got Frozen. Here's my hottest take. Frozen is the most overrated Disney movie of all time. Let It Go is good. It's a great song. Is it that good though? I'm letting all of you guys know. Let It Go. Anna and Kristoff have no chemistry. Hans is the worst twist villain ever. The entire plot makes absolutely no sense. It's like, just tell your sister. You were gone for like 12 years and behind your room the whole time. How'd you eat? This movie is stupid. I hated it. Olaf carries though. And that's the only reason it's not D tier. But it's definitely a C tier movie. Its hype makes no sense. Big Hero 6. Another hot take. I hate this movie. Wait, that's not true. I really love Baymax. I love Hiro. I love the chemistry between Hiro and Baymax. What I hate about Big Hero 6 is everybody else. The rest of the cast, I despise them. They add nothing to the plot. They add nothing to the characters. It would have been just better if it was just Hiro and Baymax. Let it just be a Baymax movie. Call the movie Baymax. Get rid of all these other side characters that nobody gives a mother shit about. I don't care about them. I can't in good conscience give this a good rating because of them. It's still like bottom of B tier though. It's still better than Frozen. It's better than most of these movies. So bottom of B tier, B for Big Hero 6. Zootopia is really fun. Beyond the strange allegories, it is very good. I like our cast. I like the world that they build. It's like A tier. Moana. Make way, make way. Moana has so much music. What can I say except you're welcome? I think Moana's good. I don't think it's perfect. I think it has a lot of parts of the movie that don't work for me. I think Moana's good and deserves a sequel, but in general, some of the plot points are a little bit slow in the mid and the end area. I don't walk away from Moana thinking it's like an S tier movie. I do think it's a top of A tier though, better than Little Mermaid. Ralph Breaks the Internet is so bad. F tier. Let me explain. From being one of my favorite newer movies all the way in S tier, coming all the way down to F tier, it's just, it doesn't even get online humor. Well, he doesn't really even break the internet, let's be honest. It feels like it just didn't understand what made the original movie really good and the heart that it gave it. It took all of that elements and just like forced Ralph into these stupid situations. God, it ruins all the goodwill the original Wreck-It Ralph has. Like it's one of those things where like Wreck-It Ralph didn't need a sequel. Let's be honest. And this sequel just killed me. It had that scene where you're like go to like the Disney world and you meet all the Disney princesses. Dude, who is that for? Is that to like try to sell me on Disney Plus? I bought it. I bought Disney Plus. You win, Disney. But like Jesus Christ, it's a bad time. I don't even think it was that funny. Guys, don't hate me, but remember I don't like Frozen, so I didn't want to watch Frozen 2, so I didn't watch it. Raya and the Last Dragon. I also didn't see it. Encanto. Encanto's a good time, man. We don't talk about Bruno, but it was my wedding. It was my wedding. We were getting pretty and there wasn't a cloud in the... No clouds allowed in the sky. Bruno walks in with the mischievous grin. Thunder, you're telling the story, or am I? Anyway, I love the music in Encanto. I think the music in Encanto is phenomenal. The plot, it's okay. And I think family trauma is a real thing that we need to discuss, okay? Putting it right there in B tier. And last, but certainly not least, we have Strange World. Strange World is a movie that I saw on Disney Plus, and one of my best friends actually animated it. And so I really wanted to see it, so I saw it. And it's fine. The environmental message is pretty cool. It's a really good metaphor for like oil and what we're doing to destroy our earth and stuff. In execution though, could have been a little bit better, a little more taking itself a little more seriously. I think Strange World is a solid C tier movie. I think it gets a little bit more hate than it deserves. Okay, everybody, that is my tier list of the best Disney animation movies. If you're wondering where Ratatouille, Incredibles, Toy Story, all that stuff, that's Pixar. And I already made a Pixar tier list. You can check it out right here on my second channel. So, do you guys agree with my list? Do you disagree with my list? Let me know in the comments down below. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Movies with Macro, baby! Drop a sub. Do it.